Alright, good afternoon. This is New Air Gardener. I'm going to do a quick mix of my seed starter mix that I'm actually going to use. I put up my lights, I pulled out my trays, so I got my seeds, so I'm pretty ready to go. I'm excited about that. So, this is actually it's mostly coconut coir. Some time ago I did a bin that I actually took some out. I don't think it was ready, too ready. So this is a lot of coconut coir and some worm castings. I had some worm castings, so it's a little bit of both. So what I'm going to do is, this is my mix. I want to make up enough so I don't have to make it up twice. And if I have quite a bit left over, I'll just put it in another container. As you see, there's a lot of coconut coir in there. So that's 1 part coconut coir. If I was going to do my seed starting mix, I would use coconut coir. This does have some biochar, a little bit of biochar in it. That's 2 parts. I got really nothing left in there. Just gonna throw that in there. So that's the coconut coir and worm castings. So good moisture still on that. Not wet. Balls together real good. So that's that. That's coconut coir. That's 2 parts coconut coir. And to that, I'm going to add, these are worm castings, my own personal batch of worm castings I had. These worm castings are probably about a year old, and they're in a container, and they're still moist. So, good moisture on that. That's falls right apart. So, that's some good worm castings there. Still a lot of biology in there and microbes and things like that. So that's 1 part. I'm gonna mix it up. I'll take a feel of it to kind of know whether I want to put 2 and 2. I'm not going to add any compost into this. This is just for seed starting. When I do transplant into another container, that's when I'll add compost. So I'm gonna do, I like the way it feels, but I'm gonna do 2 parts. I know that pretty much what I got in this container is 2 parts. A little bit left, a little less, but that's 2 parts. So I did 2 parts of coconut coir and 2 parts worm castings. And the reason why no compost in there, I just want to keep it kind of soilless, no soil. You can look at the compost, as you can look at the worm castings as soil, but seeing that you're using coconut coir and they break down the coconut coir, I think that's fine. Last year, when I did my seed mix, I just used straight up worm castings, and it did phenomenal. So, I don't think that's going to hurt. Now, if you remember, this was the container I did some fine and flake biochar. It's only been going for about maybe a week, week and a half. I'm going to do about half part of biochar. This biochar is warm, and that's because of everything that I added in it. The alfalfa, the rock dust. So that's half a part. I didn't put a full part in there. I put a half a part in there. Gonna mix it up real good. Like I said, there was some biochar in the first part, 2 parts of the coconut coir that I put in there that had some worm castings in it. So I think that's going to be good. So that's probably enough to do everything that I need to do. Is the amount of seeds I'm going to start. I'm a hot pepper guy. I like hot peppers. I do hot peppers all the time. I do share my hot sauce with people. I also have some people I sell it to. So I usually do habanero. I do a garlic habanero. I did Thai peppers a couple years ago. That was really good. Thai pepper was very good. Only downside to me on the Thai peppers was the amount of seeds. So I had to go through it, take some of the seeds out, because I make a thin sauce and I make a thick sauce. Some people like it a little thicker. Some people like it thinner. I like it in the middle. I don't like it to pour right out. I don't like it to come out clumpy either. I also make a vinegar sauce with the leftover seeds and rinds from the peppers. But this year I am going to do 3 good hot peppers. I'm going to do the reapers, the scorpion peppers, and the ghost peppers. Those are going to be the 3 peppers, hot peppers I do this year. I'm going to do a wax hot pepper that I'm going to pickle. I like that in my salads, on a sandwich. So, and then, you know, the normal stuff that we all do. Tomatoes, I'll do regular beefsteak for salads and sandwiches. And I'm going to do a Roma tomato for sauce. My wife will make some sauce. She makes some great sauce. So I'm going to do a lot of those for her so she can make up some sauce. So, you know, I'm gonna do the regular spinach, carrots. I'm gonna do okra. We're gonna do squash. We're gonna do. I got some new seeds. I can't even remember what they were. That I tried. That I'm gonna try this year. I usually do collard greens. I didn't do collard greens this year, but I am gonna do kale. We usually do kale and collard greens, and we usually produce enough. Can eat them when we want in September when we start harvesting them. I usually have them for Thanksgiving, Christmas, or New Year's. So that's how good they actually do. So I'm happy with that. I'm gonna do some zucchini squash. It's a yellow zucchini squash. Trying that for the first time. I usually do a gray zucchini squash, and then a summer squash. And then I love my onions, so I'm doing onions, doing yellow onions and red onions. So also going to do some beets. She wants to try some beets, so we're going to do beets this year. I've never done beets before, so we're going to do beets. That makes her happy to have her little plot also. So it's always good to share the plot and put things in that she wants for herself. So she's my garden keeper also when I'm at work all day. I'm away from the house for about 12 hours a day. So she does all the weeding of the garden. If it starts to get out of control or there's weeds, I don't have a weed problem in my garden, which is great. But any weed she just likes to, that come up in between the beds, she likes to get out of there. So it's good. So this is the mix, and there's one more thing I'm going to add to it. I'm not adding any type of fertilizer or anything like that. Maybe I'll do a video this week on some, I might do a video, I don't know. See what time I have. I'll do a video on doing compost and worm tea. That's what I'll pretty much give them, the seedlings. That's what I'll use. Also, I'm going to add a little dolomite lime to it. Not a lot. Just a little. Probably about a teaspoon or a tablespoon worth in there. Give them a little magnesia and stuff like that. So, not a lot. They don't really need it that much. And then when I start doing that, pretty much was pretty much nothing compared to the amount of soil that's in here. That we're making here. So, but the way I look at it, it's always better to add a little at a time as you go than to add more and go, man, I added too much. Oh, that's too much. Because you can't take it out. So I'm going to add just a little bit more. I'm going to add a pinch more. So that's probably about 2 teaspoons in there. So, and that's pretty much it. And you can use this. I mean, you can use this for your seedlings. You can use it for your transplants. You can use it for whatever you want. But I like something that's nice and airy to do that with. Oh, I forgot one more thing. Give me a second. I didn't pull it out, so I gotta get it. All right, the one of the main ingredients I forgot to add, which I can't find. I had to open up my box that I have some of my bulbs in that I have to dig out every year and put in some vermiculite. This is vermiculite. I like vermiculite a little bit better than the perlite in here. This just also acts as a fluffening agent and also a moisture agent. It actually holds a little bit. So I just had to dig some out of my plants. So I'm only gonna add what I think is enough. So that was probably about, what I have here is about a half a part. But right now I'm just gonna mix it in. Mix it in real good. Mix it throughout. So this is, like I said, some vermiculite to add out. And the vermiculite also sucks up a lot of the nutrients when you fertilize the plants. But like I said, it also just helps keep it light and airy. Especially when you're doing seedlings, you want to keep it nice and light because you want to let those nice young roots be able to move around. You don't want the soil to compact. So the vermiculite actually helps in that. So I think that's enough. Yeah, that seems like enough to me. Looking at it, feeling it, it's nice and fluffy. It'll keep the dirt nice and loose. So and that's all we do. Like I said, no, I didn't add no fertilizer. Fertilizer we'll get is the compost tea. And I would do a small batch, enough just to be able to feed to the seedlings and the house plants from the tea. They'll benefit from the tea. Everything that you put in the tea will actually help them. So it's never overkill to mix good. So that's it. That is my seedling mix for my seedlings. You never can have enough. Once you mix it up and you do it the way you want to do it, it's better to have extra than to have to make up more. So I think this is enough to do my seedlings. So I actually have a 2.5 gallon container. I'll put it in there and let's see how much we actually get and we'll see if this is going to be enough. So and that's another good thing about doing the worm castings. So that's 2.5. That's 2.5 gallons. It's extremely full. So that's 2.5 gallons. And if we said 2.5 gallons, there's four quarts to a gallon. So we got 10 quarts. Let's say 10 quarts of product here. If I had to go out and buy that 10 quarts, I'd be spending money. But I just made what they sell in a bag with some other different things in it that are beneficial to the plants. I mean, look at that. That's just homemade. You know, why go out and buy it if you have everything that you need? So the worm castings, it's another advantage of doing the worm castings. You have worm castings, you have your own coconut coir, you have vermiculite, you can make your own. So that's my recipe, that's how I do it. So this was 2-part worm castings, 2 parts coconut coir, about a half part of active biochar, and half part of vermiculite, and probably about 2 tablespoons or 2 teaspoons of lime, dolomite lime. So you can always add other things, like you can add the rock dust in there if you want to add rock dust. That's going to be beneficial for the roots, help them take up the nutrients faster. So it's always a good thing. But when I do my transfer mix, I add all those different kind of minerals into it. But for a seed mix, they just need to get started, and feeding them the worm casting and compost tea. That's how they get their other fertilizer. So I appreciate you looking, and if any comments or suggestions what I can add in to this, I'm always open to them. So thanks for looking. Come back and visit New Era Gardener. Thank you.